Hey, Brown Girl Banter.
Hey, Brown Girl Banter.
I am Dr. Patience.
And I am Dr. Dangerfield.
We are excited to be with you today. This episode is, we want to make sure we all, not just us, not just you, but we all collectively, end our year on a
High
note and pondering some things as we go into a new, somebody said this the other day, a new decade.
I
Dr.
know,
Janelle
a
said
whole new decade.
I was like, goodness gracious, that's crazy.
That's what was I doing in 2010?
What? I mean, I had no children. I had just moved to Nashville.
Let me see. I was working on my doctorate because I started in 2009. And working. Yeah, didn't have my business. Oh.
I mean, right.
So a whole lot of things have changed
things
in a decade.
I know. I said to Omari, I was like, dude, we bought 2 houses in this decade.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be like,
you had
crazy.
2 whole kids.
2 whole kids.
You had 2 whole kids in this decade. 2 whole kids.
I mean, it has been a lot of changes.
Yeah.
I think one of the big things that I believe people struggle with, and I say this a lot when I'm talking to clients or even friends, is adjusting to a new normal.
Yes.
2010 to 2019, going into 2020, have brought a lot of new normals.
Yes.
And I think people don't identify it as that, right?
No.
It's like,
Because we want to hold on to what's comfortable.
what's comfortable. And so it's like, as these transitions were happening, you kind of had to sit back and say, okay, wait, whatever this was is no longer, right?
Yes.
And so now what is my role in this new journey, this new part of my life? And over the last 10 years, I went through, I don't know about you all, but a lot of changes that. Trying to, you were part of a lot. What am I going to do? Where am I going to work? Is this for me? Am I going to be, like group therapy, individual therapy, private practice, work for somebody? Like it was just, a lot of things up here,
and trying to see how they're going to manifest in real life.
Yeah.
Because as women, we want to know the plan.
You got to know the plan.
So in 2010, we were like, what's the plan for the next 10 years?
Exactly.
But then, especially if you are a person of faith, you're like, God, I want you to do great things through me. And he's like, okay, let go of your plan and let's see how this is going to work. And it's like, okay, God, so what I was thinking was going to happen these last 10 years, some things have changed.
That's so true. And I mean, in making the adjustment to it, I was telling Dr. Dangerfield, I visited a church in Atlanta, and the minister was telling the story of Saul. And so, anyway, long story short, in one of the scriptures, he tells Saul when he was on Damascus Road, like, get up, go to this land, and then I'll tell you what to do from there. And the minister says, the problem with us is we want to know the plan,
right?
Who I'm going to see when I get there, what they're going to tell me.
How's it going to work out for me?
Before we even get up. And I said, I think that was so important for me in this year and in this season to hear that going into 2020. Like, most times, right, I'm not going to know the plan, but a part of me has to be, not all of me has to be willing. See, I changed my language, y'all. I got to change my language. All of me has to be willing to get up first, make the move and believe that whatever the outcome is, it'll be waiting for me, and it's ordained, and it's, godly vision, godly purpose if you're, a believer. So I was just kind of like, that I needed that going into 2020 because I was, as she knows, sometimes I'll be like, now what am I doing? She'll be like, why is this not enough? I'm like, because it's not enough.
But we're all guilty because it's funny that you kind of say this, because I was having dinner with a friend last week, and so she was asking me, she was like, and she calls me Lulu, which is so funny, and she's like, Lulu, what you doing? And then I was like, I said, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. She said, you don't feel like you're doing enough. What else you want to be doing? She's like, you're fully an entrepreneur. You're running your own business. You're doing other things, but that's still not enough. But I remember back in 2010, I was going to school. I was working a full-time job. I was part of like a board. I was like, it was so many different things that were going on that right now, just doing a couple things don't feel like it's enough.
Used to the hustle and bustle, even though it was stressful.
Right, but we as women, especially women of color, brown girls, we have been programmed to believe that you need to do this, and this, that if you kind of step back and revisit or just like reroute your steps.
Yes.
It's like, are you doing enough? Or am I, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but in all actuality, it is what you're supposed to be doing. And like, as I think about 2020, I'm like, what do I really want to happen in 2020? Because I was even thinking yesterday, because 2019 for me has probably been a year that I feel like I was in a fog, because like in my personal life, things were going on, family, because I'm a caregiver. I'm a caregiver to my parents along with my two sisters, and just watching them, and it's like, so I've been in a fog when it comes to around business things, but I've accomplished things that probably were not on my list at goals for 2019. And I was like, so yesterday I was like, have you accomplished anything that you set out to do? And then God, in the way he works, he brought these things to my remembrance. He was like, you did this. He's like, so, and then he brought up, you started Brown Girl Banter. You started Bay. Those were things that you wanted to do to be empowering, to help other women. And he was like, you've done things in your business. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, what do I want 2020 to look like? Do I want to plan things out, or do I just want to be willing to say yes to what comes?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's so scary.
I know. Because I said that in 2018. I remember at the end of 2018, I was sitting at a round table, and I said, I want to be able to say yes to whatever God brings forth. But I was like, but I still needed a plan.
You're right.
Because I was like, I had my goals. I had the things I wanted to do. But I was like, but I'll say yes.
We are. That's how we are. I mean, like you said, it's hard. Like, faith without works, right? I mean, like, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, right? So it's like that not seen part is like the scary. That's the scary.
We want to see we want to see what it looks like.
I need to know what this looks like so that I feel safe. I feel secure. This is in accordance to what I believe is supposed to be happening. And when it's not, we get anxious and nervous.
This is not my new normal. I don't want my normal to look like this.
Exactly.
Because I want my normal to look like what it was.
It's so hard.
How can you grow?
How can you grow? And I think our friendship has really helped me with that, because I have definitely, my vision can become very narrow, where I'm just kind of like, oh gosh, I'm all over the place. I am definitely an all over the place person. We talked about in the coming book, Michelle was saying how Barack is kind of like go with the flow type person, and she's kind of like
that was driving her crazy.
I am more of this kind of whimsical, all over the place person, and then have no order or structure, and then and it all fall into place. But you gotta have people in your life.
How can you do that?
I have to be, but you gotta have people in your life who are willing to be like, okay, wait. Let's a couple things. You don't gotta do all 25 in life, but let's put some order to at least 5 of those 25 things.
We need to know what we had.
Exactly,
and that's even behind planning this.
It's like, no, girl, throw it to the wall and see if it sticks. Come on, what are you talking about?
And I'm the person. I'm like, okay, we good, but what we talking about today? I'm like, now what's the conversation?
The blessing for me is having people in my life who can help bring all of that together. I definitely struggle with that. So, I'm going to work on that in 2020. I'm trying to make some commitments to...
How you going to do this?
Let me say, this is the plan.
What's the commitment?
Exactly. So here's the thing. I definitely do not want to become a checklist person, because I don't like being rigid. I love flexibility. I love spontaneity. I love not knowing. So, a part of me likes that. It can bring me anxiety, but I like it, right?
Living on the edge.
Right. But I also want to be open.
Okay.
That when people bring, to my, bring it to my attention, like, hey, maybe
you need to think about this.
Think about this.
Okay.
Maybe ordering this like this. I want to be open to that, right?
Maybe.
I don't want to be that person who's constantly just kind of throwing stuff to the wall to see if it sticks. Now, how do I do that? That's going to be a lot of prayer, a lot of conscious effort. Like, really paying attention
Yes.
to what is happening because I'm gonna fall back into my old ways. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Because that's a part of our human experience. We go back to what's comfortable. That's what we do. We go back to what's comfortable.
I think though this year we have definitely taken some faith
Oh,
walks and some
yeah.
leaps that we never would have done before. So that's some form of acceptance. And so I challenge you all out there, if there's something that you are excited about or you want to, explore a side of you, some creative ideas, a book you want to write, a podcast you want to do, man, this has been so fulfilling.
Yeah.
And it really just took us trusting each other, trusting God, taking that leap, and believing that it will all fall into place.
Yes, most definitely. So, when you think about, like, when you were sitting at the end of the year, and because a lot of us, we reflect. We start probably the reflection process right around Thanksgiving, and it goes up to the beginning of the year, and start thinking about what it is that you want to do for the next year or the next decade. It is being able to say, okay, I'm going to get outside of my comfort zone because life doesn't really begin until you're willing to step outside of that. And so being able to, take some of that pressure off of self and saying I have to do it perfectly or that I have to stay comfortable, but being willing to jump out there and say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do something for me. Because, we talk about making sure you take care of yourself. So whatever it is that you feel that you're being led to do, purpose, most definitely making sure that you're walking out your purpose.
I agree with that 100%. I have a friend, we were talking about work. She was interested in leaving her current position because she just wasn't fulfilled. And so she said, when she talked to her mother about it, and she's an African American woman, she talked to her mother about it, her mom was like, well, girl, you've been there for a long time. Why are you trying to make them changes? You better sit there. Work there for 30, 40, know
that conversation.
Don't rock the boat was pretty much what she was saying to her. Yeah. And the cultural, I feel like it's a race. I'm just going to, I don't know. I don't want to generalize, but in my experience with the women and even men that I talk to that are Black men and women, parents are kind of like, they go to, and we're from Michigan, so a lot of parents worked at the plant, and retired from, GM and Ford and Chrysler. So you don't leave a job.
Oh, no. No, most definitely you don't leave a job and go out on your own.
Ooh.
Because I think about when I made the decision that I was going to leave my job, because this is my third career, I think. So I have been kind of one of those people that kind of jump and try something new in that aspect. But I remember when I was going to start my own business, my dad, he was like, well, what you going to do? I think it took him probably about the first 2 years. I was probably saying the same thing inside my head. But I think for probably the first 2 years, he's like, now, what you do? You're not going to someone's job. You're not going. Who's paying? I think his first one was like, who's gonna pay you? And then when I explained to him, and one time I said something about doing so, he said, so people come talk to you about going on vacation. I said, well, if that's part of the conversation, he said, but they pay you to do this, and you're not going to a job. You're not going to where someone else dictates your paycheck. And I was like, no, I'm jumping out of here. But as we were talking, it started making me think, though. I said, I probably got my, willing to take risk from my mom. Because my mom, she changed professions a couple of times. And she was willing to take the risk.
I'm jumping out here.
Right. Whether it's going to work or not. And so I kind of get that probably from her. But where I get stuck is once I take the risk, it's now I'm out here, what I'm supposed to be doing. So, but if you want to do that for yourself, create a loose plan.
Yes. Yes.
A loose plan.
Yes.
And see how it works.
Because you never know what way life is going to take you.
Yeah.
And sometimes a lot of times you'll see memes or, video posts. Don't tell everybody your vision. Everybody is not worthy to know your plan, what you have going on, what you're thinking, because that can be stifled. And they can
distraction.
Yes. And they can,
a big distraction.
Throw water on your flame. And so our parents can do that.
Yes.
We love them dearly.
But
that's not the lens in which they see the world through, because
No.
that was not their
No.
experience.
You work somewhere 30 years, you get a watch, go home and retire.
And retire,
Yeah.
because during their season, that was security.
Yes.
That is how food got on the table.
Table,
That is
all
how,
that,
you know,
yes.
vehicles were purchased. That's how kids went to school.
School, yes.
You don't jump around from, you know, career to career.
Oh, no.
You don't take a risk and become an entrepreneur. Crazy.
Not at all. I'm so glad my dad stayed where he stayed at for the years that he did, because that's how I got to go to school, because of tuition reimbursement.
Gratefulness. We'll
Yes.
take it. I hear you. But that doesn't mean that that's our story.
Yeah.
For
no.
your
Just
story.
jump out there doing it.
Go out there and pursue that and see where it takes you.
Yeah.
I believe that but too, you got to surround yourself with people.
Oh yeah, that will, like, they are your cheerleaders. That will
Yes.
cheer you up, but also offer some accountability and some, like, hey, when you get too far, they were like, come on back in, come on back in. And I think we do that for each other, like,
Definitely.
because, like, I remember when I was asking her one question about, like, what was I supposed to do next, and Patience was like, how many times have we had this conversation? And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. She's like, but how many times have we had this conversation?
Exactly. And I'm like, focusing on, you know what you're good at.
Right, you know what you're supposed to be doing.
You know your passion. You bless people every time you do it.
Yes.
So why are we changing this again? I'm just not
Because
sure.
I don't know. I didn't know either why I was changing it.
And when you walk in purpose,
Yes,
I'm here
it
to
works
tell you,
out.
when you walk in purpose, you
It does.
feel like a different person.
It does, yes.
People benefit from your light and
Yes.
your experience or whatever, you know, your service, whatever it is that
Yes.
you're bringing. People are blessed from that.
Yes.
People get something for that. And if you have a sense like, you know, this 9 to 5, or shucks, if you in social services, this 9 to 9. I'm here to tell you. If you are like, this is not what I feel like is my destiny.
Yes, what you're called to, what you feel like that you were created and called to do.
Right, then it's time for you
Maybe
to
it's
make
maybe.
some adjustments.
Yeah.
And I had a client say to me, I never thought about adjusting the plan. I always thought I was the problem, but it never occurred to me
That you could
that the plan was flawed. I said,
That
you
was,
could preach a
you know
sermon,
what?
girl.
She just dropped something right there.
My client, I said,
Right,
you better
thank
come on,
you.
girl.
she just laid it. We might need, like, say that again.
So my client said, she said, I never thought that I needed to adjust the plan. I was the person who was at fault. I was the failure. I wasn't doing something correctly. And it never occurred that the plan was flawed in the first place. I need to go and adjust the plan in order to, you know, walk in whatever that is that I'm supposed to be doing. And so it was like, ta-da, we could have this epiphany moment of like, the plan's flawed.
Yeah.
Plans, it's not you, it's the
It's
plan.
the plan.
So maybe you need to look at the plan and make some
Yes.
adjustments before you walk into 2020
Yes.
to ensure that what is destined for you or what you feel is for you, that you walk into that particular thing
Yes.
and have the steps to do it. The plan might be flawed.
Yeah.
It's not you, it's the plan.
Plan, and you can make some adjustments.
Yeah, don't get disappointed or
Yeah.
discouraged because of that. I had a minister say in that same service, he said, sometimes passion and purpose are not
The same.
the same. And I mean, when I say that, like, spoke
Yeah,
to me too.
that's true.
Because sometimes we're like, well, it's not my passion, it's not my passion. But sometimes your passion and your purpose
are not the same.
right. Purpose sometimes and passion kind of have to run kind of like, I guess,
Okay.
across
Across
each
each
other
other.
maybe. Maybe you bump into it along the way in purpose.
Is it perpendicular?
Hey, why?
A
I'm
parallel.
therapist. I'm a counselor.
Parallel is this and
way,
this.
yes.
Perpendicular is this and this. I don't know. That's probably
Do
why
y'all
we're
hear her?
therapists, right?
Do y'all hear? Like my doctor that said like math or something. Also, keep smart people around you. What number point are we on? Go with that.
Right.
If math is not, make sure you get a math person. Like,
Yes. Always get somebody whose strength is not yours. I've learned that.
that is super important. And at this moment, she did not have somebody whose strength was. I'm sorry, Fred, I failed you. But we do. I think we have a lot of, you know, ambition. I think I definitely try to surround myself with people who are ambitious.
Yes.
And sometimes that's good for me. Sometimes it's not, because I'm like, look at them. I suck. And sometimes, I mean, it took this lady to say to me the other day, she's like, I'm going into private practice, or started dabbling in private practice. And she says to me, you've accomplished that. You got your space. you know, seeing clients, that's a goal accomplished. And I looked at her like, oh my goodness, that's a goal accomplished. Like, never looked at it like a goal accomplished. Never looked at it like an accomplishment. But like you said, I think as women of color, we're like, and next, and next, and next, and next, and next.
Yeah.
It's, you know, almost goes back to our black girl magic, strong black woman
have to do everything and hold it up.
You know, I'm in the kitchen cooking Thanksgiving dinner. I'm tired, though, watching the kids and do like, you know, these
all of that
pressures we put on ourselves. And I believe that it takes those friends around you or people you surround yourself with to say, dude, that was a goal you had for the year and you accomplished that. Holy crap, I did.
Yes, you did.
And I mean, when I say I was happy the rest of the day, like, thank you, I needed that.
She did.
I needed that thing because I was feeling like I was going in circles. So, you know, it's important. Surround yourself with people who can remind you of what you've accomplished, what you've done. And it's okay to not have 80 things on the list.
It is okay.
Minimalist. Use 2020 to be minimalist.
Yes. You don't have to do everything. Find you 3 good things.
And do them well.
And do them well.
And do them well. So I think that's important. We're like, we cannot end the year without talking to our BGB crew about like faith walk and
and what you want to do for 2020. Walking in purpose.
And using this month. We're in December.
Yes.
Like, using this month to really hone in on that and make that commitment to yourself about what it is. What is it that I want to do? How do I want to do it? And how and where areas am I willing to be flexible?
Right.
And willing
and remember that the plan may be flawed.
The plan may be. It's not you.
It's the plan.
You know, we all about that self-care and that self-love. You know, like it might be you.
Right.
Now take some inventory.
But it might not be all of you.
It might not be all of you. So, you know, I think that's important for us to be able to share that with you this month. We, you know, like Lucretia started this off, you know, we go and we make all these resolutions at the beginning of the year. You know, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start exercising. I'm
going to do this. I'm going to write this book. I'm going to start this podcast. I'm going to run my business. I'm going to do this.
Yes, me and my husband are like, we're going to go on dates all the time now. You're going to get us a sitter consistently and we're going to go on dates. We say that every year. Lord Jesus, I don't know if we have accomplished a date yet. Help us with these 2 kids.
So can we get them to go on at least a date a month? So we can by the end of 2020 they went on at least 12 dates.
Yes.
What y'all date?
We try. We do. I mean, the struggle bus is real. And those mamas out there, you're doing a great job.
Yes,
like, regardless of how you feel, what people say, it's hard. And you are doing a great job.
Yes.
So I want to make sure I shout you all out. That is so important because as a mom, I get it. Like, struggle bus, these kids. I mean, I got a 6 and a 2 and they be on my head. I'm like, whoo. Them date nights would probably come in handy sometimes. I was funny, side note, having a conversation with a friend and her boyfriend, and he's like, so what do y'all like watch, you know, they were talking about Power and some of the crap they watch together, and I'm like, we don't really watch TV together. And he looked like, and I said, we probably sound crazy, don't we? But we don't. We don't watch TV. We don't. And then I realized we do watch sports. We watch basketball. But I'm like, we're just not. I mean, our schedules are really bad.
And that's not your thing.
It's not our thing. Our schedules are horrible. But, you know, put us a cup of coffee down now. We'll talk for days. So Lucretia, I was going to be drinking out my coffee cup today. So all that to say, you know, make commitments in your relationships,
your career.
If you got to cut some people off, get them out of here.
Okay.
And surround yourself with people who are supportive
support you.
of who you are and where you're going. I think that's so important. Yeah. So we just wanted to make sure we talked about that at the end of this year, the importance of, you know, to thine own self be true.
Yes.
To thine own self be true, and loving yourself and accepting yourself and loving yourself for the skin you're in, right? Regardless of what you got, locks, fro, or perm, right?
All of it.
All of it.
Love who
tall,
you are.
short, skinny, fat, whatever you are.
Enjoy.
Single, dating.
All of that.
I'm trying to go through every topic we had this year.
We've talked about a lot.
Whatever.
So if you fall in any of those categories,
seeing a therapist, not seeing a therapist, whatever it is, You know, love yourself in that.
And all of that.
Be prepared for what 2020 is going to bring to you.
Yes.
So we are just excited that we got to spend this time with you.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking forward to a new year. I don't know, do you have any resolutions for this year?
No, I don't make resolutions anymore because they just float somewhere out in the air. So I'm setting intentions, and I always try to come up with one word for the year, and I'm praying about that now.
Oh,
what my
super
year
cool.
for 2020 is, what my word's going to be for 2020.
Oh, that's amazing. That's good. I do, I wouldn't call it a resolution. I do set like, I'm committed to doing this, and like, Lucretia, they don't last. So I said, instead of doing that, I feel like a failure for 12 months.
Set intentions, daily intentions.
Exactly. I'm just gonna, live in my flexible, floaty in the air kind of
Structured
thing.
kind of thing.
Exactly. But I always work really hard. I think my constant prayer at the beginning of every year is godly purpose, godly vision.
Yes.
And so I try to really be intentional about that every year. And now I'm trying to do that same thing for the girls. I want them to understand godly purpose, godly vision, even at the age they're at now.
Yes.
And I think this year I'm really going to focus on, which we talk about this, I don't know if we're talking about it this month, but legacy. That's so important for me and the family, to ensure that my kids understand wealth and legacy. Those conversations are definitely happening now. So that's exciting. Okay. So what are your commitments, intentions, resolutions, whatever it is that
goals,
you do?
whatever.
Yeah, drop them in the comment section or go to I Am Brown Girl Banter on Instagram and let us know. What is it? What are you committing to as you get ready to walk into 2020, into a new decade? Let that marinate for a minute. Sit in that. A new decade. What is this? What are you expecting?
Well, yes. What are you expecting?
Living
I like
in
that word.
expectancy,
Yes, I love
right?
that. Yeah.
What is that? Let us know. Share it. You never know. I always say this about the comment section. You never know who you'll bless.
Right.
You never know who you'll inspire. You never know who you'll encourage. You never know who you motivate if you just drop a comment and say something.
Yes.
So please feel free to do that. We hope you have a great December.
Yes, and a happy new year.
Happy New Year.
And remember, season 2 will kick off at the beginning of 2020.
Yes, and if you have some really cool New Year's plans, let us know.
Let us know.
We might stop by.
You never know.
Might catch us there.
You never know.
You never know. Once again, I am Dr. Patience. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Dr. Patience.
And I am Dr. Dangerfield, and you can follow me on Instagram at I am Dr. Dangerfield.
We look forward to seeing you all in season 2. Have a wonderful, blessed, and safe holiday.
Okay. Yes.
Take care. Bye, Brown Girl Banter.
Bye, Brown Girl Banter.